After 4,000 years of silence, humanity returned to chastise the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council had long assumed that humans were gone, their worlds lost to the dark corners of space. But deep inside the uncharted edges of the Orion expanse, a fleet moved silently, carrying the last spark of humanity's pride and fury. Commander Alex Harper stood on the bridge of the lead ship, staring out at the black void. His hands rested lightly on the railing, yet his mind was sharp and alert. The silence of space had a strange way of settling over the soul, forcing a person to listen to their own thoughts. Alex had lived for this day his entire life. Ever since he was a boy, he had heard stories from the old archives about the Council's betrayal, about how humanity had been denied its rightful place among the stars. Beside him, Lieutenant Clara Monroe adjusted the settings on the ship's navigation panel. Her fingers moved with a quiet grace, confident and precise. Clara had been trained from childhood in the arts of both strategy and survival. She was one of the many who had been raised in secret, away from prying alien eyes, to prepare for this moment. "Commander," she said softly, "we are entering the border of the Council's controlled space. Sensors are picking up movement, but it is sparse. They don't expect anyone here." Alex nodded, his expression unreadable. "Good. Let's keep it that way. We do not announce ourselves. We remind them only when it is too late for excuses." The fleet itself was a marvel of human engineering. Sleek, durable, and armed with weapons that rivaled the combined strength of most Council fleets, the ships carried more than just soldiers. They carried the will of a species that had refused to die. Inside each vessel, hundreds of men and women trained in tactics, science, and combat waited, ready for orders. They were not just humans, they were a statement. In the Galactic Archives, the Council members sat comfortably in their chambers, unaware of the approaching storm. They had grown fat on their own arrogance, believing that 4,000 years of silence meant humanity had disappeared entirely. For them, the memory of Earth and its people had become a faint legend, a cautionary tale for young Council members about ambition that dared to challenge the galaxy's balance. Admiral Linnaeus, the head of the Council fleet, lounged in his seat, his tentacle-like appendages folding behind him. He was a being of immense intelligence and cruelty, and he had long enjoyed the idea of ruling the stars without challenge. Beside him, his aide, a smaller species named Vethar, scanned the energy signatures of nearby star systems. "No movement detected, sir," Vethar reported. "The outer sectors are quiet. It is as if the humans have vanished from history." Linnaeus chuckled softly, a sound that rattled the metal walls of the chamber. "Good. They should remain forgotten. Let them rot in their forgotten systems. No one can challenge us now." Back on the human fleet, Alex gathered his senior officers in the command hall. The room was simple but functional, filled with maps, holographic projections, and data consoles. Commander Alex looked at each officer in turn. "Everyone," he began, "in 4,000 years the galaxy has forgotten our name. They think we are extinct. They have become careless. That is our advantage." Captain Morgan Rivers, a tall man with a calm demeanor, leaned forward. "Our first target, sir?" he asked. Alex pointed to a glowing star system on the holographic map. "This is Zethar Prime. The Council's mining fleet is stationed there. It is poorly defended, but it holds strategic resources. We take it, we prove that we are back." Clara frowned slightly. "And the civilians, sir? The Council often hides non-combatants among their fleets. We need to be careful." Alex's face hardened. "I know. But they will learn that humanity does not hesitate. We are precise, we are swift, and we are merciless when necessary. Do not forget this is more than a battle. This is a message." The officers nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. In the silence of the command hall, the sound of distant engines and the hum of energy shields filled the air. Every soldier on every ship was aware that they were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for honor, for the right to be remembered. Meanwhile, deep within one of the council's outposts, a young analyst named Talia Green noticed something unusual on her screens. The sensor readings were faint but unmistakable, a formation of ships emerging from the dark, moving faster than any human fleet should be able to travel. "Talia, are you sure?" her superior asked, a tall alien with emerald scales. "Perhaps it is a rogue fleet from another sector." Talia shook her head, eyes wide. "No, sir. The energy signature matches historical human designs, but that is impossible. Humans, they have been gone for 4,000 years." The room fell silent. The council members had trained for many threats, but no one had prepared for the impossible, the return of a species they had long considered extinct. Alex's fleet moved like shadows across the stars, avoiding patrols and decoys. They communicated through encrypted channels, each command precise and minimal. Every ship in the fleet understood its role, every soldier understood the importance of discipline. As they approached Zethar Prime, Alex took a moment to address his fleet. His voice, calm but firm, echoed through the communication channels. "Remember, we fight not just for ourselves but for every human who ever lived and dreamed among the stars. Today, we remind the galaxy that humanity does not vanish quietly." The fleet's engines glowed brighter, a silent signal that they were ready. The space around Zethar Prime was alive with council drones and sensor arrays, but none were fast enough to detect the human approach until it was too late. Captain Morgan Rivers guided the first wave toward the planet's orbital stations. "Target the communication arrays first," he instructed. "We cut off their calls before they can alert the council fleet." The human ships moved with deadly precision. In minutes, the orbital arrays fell, replaced by silent, empty shells. Council personnel scrambled to react, but their systems were too slow. Missiles and pulse weapons fired in coordinated patterns, disabling defense turrets without destroying the stations themselves. Humans did not waste resources on unnecessary destruction. Every action was calculated, every move intentional. On the surface of Zethar Prime, the Council's forces were in chaos. Soldiers ran through corridors, trying to organize defenses, but the attacks came too quickly, too intelligently. Commander Alex knew the humans had the advantage of understanding, of learning from centuries of observation. Every maneuver they executed was designed to exploit weaknesses in the Council's strategy. Clara monitored the surface battle from her station aboard the lead ship. Her eyes narrowed as she studied the holographic displays. "They think they are advanced," she muttered, "but they have no idea what patience can do." Back in the council chamber, Linnaeus finally realized the truth. The humans were not a myth. They were here, and they were stronger than anything he had imagined. "Alert all fleets," he bellowed. "Do not let them reach the core systems." Vethar's multiple eyes widened in fear. "Sir, they are faster than our fleets. Our sensors barely detect them before they strike." Linnaeus' face twisted in anger. For the first time in millennia, he felt uncertainty. The humans had returned, and the galaxy's arrogance had made them blind to the threat. As the battle on Zethar Prime raged, Alex made his way to the observation deck. He looked down at the planet, now partially under human control, and felt a strange sense of calm. They were not yet victorious, but the first step had been taken. Humanity had returned. The silence of 4,000 years had ended, and the galaxy would hear their name once more. "We fight for every human who ever dreamed," Alex said quietly, almost to himself. "We fight for every star they once called home, and we will not fail." Below, the human soldiers pressed forward, moving with a confidence born from centuries of preparation. Each step was a reminder that humanity had survived, adapted, and thrived in secret. The Council had assumed they were weak, that their disappearance meant the end. But humans had grown in silence, learning patience, strategy, and strength. By the time the sun of Zethar Prime rose, the human flag flew above the main station. It was a simple design, yet it carried centuries of history, of struggle, and of hope. The Council forces were battered and confused, unable to comprehend the precision and determination of their ancient enemy. Alex stood with Clara and Captain Rivers on the observation deck. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The Council will regroup and they will send everything they have, but we are ready. Humanity is ready." Clara nodded, her eyes fierce. "They underestimated us, Alex, they always do." Morgan Rivers smiled faintly. "Let them come. The galaxy forgot us, but we never forgot ourselves. We are not just back. We are here to remind them who we are." And so, the first wave of humanity's return ended successfully, but the story was far from over. Across the galaxy, messages of fear and confusion spread through Council channels. Reports of human ships, precise and unstoppable, reached every corner. For the first time in 4,000 years, the Council understood that their arrogance had been a grave mistake. In the cold, dark reaches of space, the human fleet gathered for the next phase of their mission. Each ship carried not only weapons but hope, pride, and the unyielding spirit of a species that refused to bow. Alex Harper looked at the stars, imagining the battles yet to come. "Humanity has waited long enough," he said. "Now it is time to take our place among the stars, and those who tried to forget us will remember painfully." The fleet accelerated into the darkness, leaving behind the first conquered station and the first shockwave of fear in the Council's heart. The galaxy would never again assume humans were weak or silent. 4,000 years of silence had ended, and humanity was back to chastise the Council. The galaxy had changed in the 4,000 years since humanity disappeared. Alien species had grown bold, spreading across star systems, building empires and shaping laws in ways humans could never imagine. They had grown arrogant, thinking no one could challenge them. But now, that arrogance was about to be shattered. Alex Harper's fleet moved quietly through the outer systems, avoiding Council patrols as they charted a path toward the central sectors. Every officer on every ship knew the importance of patience. They were not just soldiers. They were witnesses to humanity's return, and every action would shape how the galaxy remembered them. On the bridge of the flagship, Alex leaned over the navigation panel, tracing the route with his finger. "We head for the Terrius cluster next," he said. "It is a communication hub. If we control it, the Council will struggle to coordinate their fleets. They will feel chaos before they even realize it." Clara Monroe, monitoring sensor readings, spoke up. "Commander, we are approaching a patrol squad, 4 Council ships. They are lightly armed, but they could detect us if we are careless." Alex nodded. "Good, let's test their strength." Captain Morgan Rivers smirked. "I think they will learn quickly that humans are not easy prey." The fleet split, moving in formation to surround the patrol. Alex gave orders with quiet precision, his voice calm but commanding. Humans had learned over centuries to strike where their enemies were weakest. They had learned patience, observation, and strategy. The Council would soon understand that underestimating humans was a mistake they could not afford. The first Council ship detected the human fleet too late. Missiles fired, energy shields flared, and in moments the patrol was disabled. The humans did not destroy the ships unnecessarily. They left them as silent warnings, drifting in space, powerless to communicate what had just happened. Alex watched the results on the main screen. "One lesson learned," he said simply, "and one message sent." As the fleet continued toward the Terrius cluster, reports of their actions began to reach Council ears. Across the galaxy, Council officers whispered of humans returning, but many refused to believe the reports. After all, 4,000 years was a long time. Could humans still be a threat? In the Council chambers, Admiral Linnaeus slammed his tentacle against the desk, shaking it with anger. "Do not ignore this, Vethar," he roared. "The humans are here and they are strong. We have underestimated them, and that is dangerous." Vethar bowed, multiple eyes blinking rapidly. Yes, sir, but they are moving with extreme caution. They strike precisely, but they do not seem interested in full-scale destruction. Perhaps it is a test, a warning. Warning or not, Linnaeus snapped, we must act. Send every fleet available. Block their path. We cannot let them reach the central sectors. Meanwhile, aboard the human fleet, the atmosphere was calm but focused. Soldiers trained in combat ran drills, engineers checked systems, and medics prepared for any casualties. Alex believed in preparation. Victory would not come from luck, it would come from discipline and skill. Clara Monroe leaned over her console, studying the Council's likely responses. If they send everything they have, they will have to split their forces. That will give us an advantage in smaller battles, she noted. Alex nodded. Exactly. We do not fight blindly. We force them to make mistakes, and when they do, we exploit them. Captain Rivers added, it is strange to think that the galaxy has grown so powerful while we were gone. Yet, here we are, showing them that humans have learned too. Alex's eyes softened slightly as he considered the thought. Humans had grown in isolation. On distant colonies, they had survived harsh worlds, learned new sciences, and perfected technologies. 4,000 years of absence had not made them weak, it had made them formidable. The Tarius cluster came into view, a vast network of space stations and relay hubs that connected hundreds of star systems. Controlling it would be a major blow to the Council, but Alex knew the operation had to be clean. No unnecessary losses, no reckless attacks. Deploy the advance units, Alex ordered. Let's disable their sensors first. We do not want them to call for reinforcements too soon. Human ships moved silently, approaching the relay stations with stealth systems activated. In minutes, the main sensor arrays were offline. Communication relays flickered and went dead. The Council's systems, once precise and confident, were now in disarray. In the chaos, Council officers scrambled to respond. Admiral Linnaeus' face twisted with disbelief. How are they this fast? How did they learn this? Vethar replied cautiously, Sir, humans were always clever, but perhaps they have evolved while we slept. Alex watched the operations unfold from his observation deck. Soldiers and engineers coordinated seamlessly, moving like a single organism. In every maneuver, there was thought, precision, and purpose. Each station taken was a step closer to the Council's core systems, each move a reminder that humanity had returned to the galaxy. As the fleet secured the Tarius cluster, reports of the humans' actions began to spread. Systems that had once believed humanity extinct now whispered with fear and respect. Humans had been underestimated for 4,000 years, and the galaxy was paying the price. On one of the stations, a young council officer named Jorel looked at the damaged consoles in horror. They took the relays without warning. They knew exactly what to target. His superior, an elder with deep blue skin, shook his head. Humans, it cannot be. We have studied them for centuries. They should not be this advanced. Jorel's voice trembled. They were silent, but that silence was not weakness. It was preparation. Back on the human flagship, Alex gathered his officers once again. The Tarius cluster is secured, he said. But the Council will not stand idle. They will gather every fleet they can. They will try to stop us before we reach the central sectors. Our next step must be swift, decisive, and overwhelming. Captain Rivers leaned forward. Do we strike directly at the Council next? He asked. Alex shook his head. Not yet. We strike where they are weakest. Each victory, each step will weaken them and force them to make mistakes. When the time comes, we will strike at the Council itself. And they will not survive the truth of humanity's return. Clara studied the fleet's sensors again. We may encounter surprises. They will not have expected this. They will try to trap us, but they do not understand us yet. Patience will be our ally. Alex smiled faintly. Patience and precision. That has always been our strength. As the human fleet prepared to move deeper into Council space, across the galaxy, whispers turned into fear. Systems once confident in their power now debated quietly whether the humans could be stopped. And in the council chambers, Linnaeus' anger boiled into a dangerous determination. "They must be destroyed," he said. "Every system we control must fight. Send the fleets. Hunt them relentlessly. Do not allow them to reach the central sectors." But humans were not careless. They had learned to move silently, to strike decisively, and to exploit the arrogance of their enemies. Each patrol sent against them fell quickly, leaving the council baffled. Every attempt to trap them ended in failure. In a quiet moment aboard the flagship, Alex addressed his officers once more. 4,000 years of silence made the galaxy forget us," he said. "But silence also made us strong. They will learn what patience, discipline, and courage can do. And when they face humanity fully, they will regret every moment they dismissed us." Captain Rivers nodded. "They assumed we were weak. That is always their mistake." Clara added, "We move not just for revenge. We move to remind them that humanity is alive, that we have survived, and that we will not be ignored." The fleet jumped to a new system, each ship moving in perfect formation. Sensors scanned for council fleets, relay stations, and possible threats. Every officer and soldier aboard knew the importance of this mission. The return of humanity was more than just survival. It was a statement. At the edge of a nearby star cluster, a council fleet waited, unaware that humans had already detected them. The humans did not rush into battle blindly. They observed, planned, and struck when the time was perfect. The first contact was swift. Human ships appeared from the shadows, disabling council sensors before the aliens even knew they were under attack. Missiles and energy pulses disabled weapons, leaving council ships paralyzed. Once again, humans struck with precision, taking control without unnecessary destruction. Admiral Linnaeus watched the reports on his screens, his face a mask of disbelief. How do they strike so perfectly every time? They cannot be this coordinated. They are impossible." Vethar hesitated. "Sir, perhaps we underestimated their ability to adapt. Perhaps they learned while we slept." Linnaeus' anger boiled into a dangerous resolve. "Enough! I will not let humans rewrite history. I will destroy them, even if it takes every ship in the galaxy." Meanwhile, Alex and his officers prepared for the next stage. Each victory had been carefully measured, each step pushing the humans closer to their ultimate goal. And though the Council's forces were vast, they were divided, scattered, and unprepared for the strategy that humans had spent 4,000 years perfecting. Alex looked at the stars, imagining the battles to come. "They thought silence meant weakness," he said quietly. "But silence was our strength, and soon the galaxy will remember who we are." Across the vast darkness, the human fleet continued its advance, striking fear into every corner of Council space. Ships moved with grace and precision, soldiers fought with skill, and humans proved that 4,000 years of preparation could not be matched by arrogance or power. And somewhere deep in the council chambers, Admiral Linnaeus realized that history was about to repeat itself in a way he could not stop. Humans were back, stronger than ever, and the galaxy would soon pay for its mistakes. The return of humanity was no longer a whisper or a legend. It was a storm, and the storm had just begun. The galaxy had begun to tremble. Every report of human ships, precise and unstoppable, spread panic among council fleets. For 4,000 years they had believed humanity gone, a forgotten species. But now humans were everywhere, striking where the council least expected, and their actions were clever, measured, and unrelenting. Alex Harper studied the holographic map of the next sector. The council had begun gathering larger fleets, trying to trap them, but humans were always one step ahead. "This is the cluster of Arden," he said quietly. "The council will throw everything they can at us here, but we are ready." Captain Morgan Rivers leaned over the display. They have amassed at least 20 council ships, heavy weapons, advanced shields. It will not be easy. Clara Monroe checked the sensor arrays. Commander, their formations are spread out. If we split our forces, we can hit them from multiple directions. Surprise will be on our side, Alex nodded. Good, that is the plan. Precision, speed, and coordination. We do not fight like they expect. Humans do not fight like others. That is our advantage. The fleet moved forward, silent as shadows. Across space, the Council fleet waited, confident in its numbers. They had strength, size, and firepower. They believed this would be humanity's end. But 4,000 years had taught humans lessons the Council could never anticipate. As the human ships entered the system, they split into 3 groups. Each group had a clear target: disable weapons, take control of communication hubs, and protect the fleet from counterattack. Every ship, every officer, knew their role perfectly. Captain Rivers led the first wave, moving swiftly toward the largest Council ships. Focus on their engines first, he instructed. Without movement, they are nothing. The attack began. Pulse weapons fired from human ships, hitting Council engines with deadly accuracy. Shields flared and explosions lit the dark void, but the human ships remained unharmed, moving with careful precision. Council pilots panicked as they tried to escape, but the humans anticipated every move. Clara monitored the battle from the flagship. They are trying to reorganize, she said, but we have already calculated their patterns. They cannot escape our strategy. Alex spoke quietly, almost to himself. Humans never forget. Humans never give up. They strike, they adapt, and they overcome. On the Council side, Admiral Linnaeus watched the battle unfold with growing anger. Impossible, he muttered. They should not be able to strike with such precision. They are too small in number. How are they this organized? Vethar's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. Sir, they have observed us for centuries. They have learned. They have adapted. We underestimated them. Linnaeus' tentacles twitched in rage. No matter, send reinforcements. Crush them before they reach the core systems. But the humans had already thought of that. Alex's fleet had sensors tuned to detect Council movements long before the Council could act. Every attempt to trap them failed. Each Council ship that moved to intercept was disabled before it could fire, either by precise strikes on engines or by electronic interference that shut down their systems. Captain Rivers moved closer to the enemy flagship. Commander, he said, we can take their command ship. That will disrupt the entire fleet. Alex studied the display. Yes, but timing is critical. We cannot rush. We strike when the moment is perfect. Wait until they are divided and distracted. Minutes passed, though in space they felt like hours. The Council ships tried to regroup, but humans controlled the pace. Missiles fired, energy pulses flared, and one by one, the Council ships fell into disarray. Communications were cut, systems failed, and panic spread through their fleet. Clara spoke into the comms. Commander, the command ship is isolated. Their defenses are down. We can take it now. Alex nodded. Proceed. Remember, we disable, not destroy. Every ship taken is proof that humanity is back. Every move must show them we are here to claim our place, not just to kill. The attack on the command ship was swift. Human ships moved around it, cutting off escape routes and disabling shields. Council soldiers attempted to respond, but human tactics were too advanced. Within minutes, the flagship was under human control. Across the galaxy, news of the victory spread. Systems that had once considered humans extinct began to whisper, fear replacing disbelief. The legend of humanity's return was now reality. On board the captured command ship, Alex and his officers studied the systems. These are more advanced than we expected, Clara said, but not impossible. With some modifications, they will become ours. Morgan Rivers nodded. Every victory is a tool. Every ship is a statement. Humanity is back and the galaxy will see it. Meanwhile, back in the Council chambers, Linnaeus could hardly breathe. His fleet was in chaos, his soldiers demoralized. and the humans had proven that 4,000 years of silence had made them stronger, not weaker. They cannot be stopped, he whispered. We have failed, we have allowed them to grow without interference, and now, Vethar placed a hand on his shoulder. Sir, there may still be hope. If we focus every fleet, we can overwhelm them. But nothing, Linnaeus snapped. We underestimated them, we paid for it. And we will pay more if we do not act now. Alex watched from his fleet as Council ships attempted to regroup. He knew the Council would try to rally, to send all their forces to stop humanity's advance. But he was ready. Humans had learned patience, strategy, and adaptation. They would not fail. Prepare for the next phase, he said. The Council will send everything. We need to be ready not just to fight but to teach them the price of underestimating humanity. Clara leaned closer. They will come. They will throw their fleets at us. But we have studied every possible move they can make. They cannot surprise us. Captain Rivers smiled faintly. Let them come. Humans do not fear strength or numbers. We fear nothing but failure, and failure is not an option. As the human fleet prepared for the next wave, soldiers trained, engineers repaired, and medics ensured everyone was ready. The fleet moved like a single organism, every part working in harmony. Humans had learned from centuries of survival in harsh worlds, and the Council would soon see the full measure of their abilities. The Council, meanwhile, scrambled to assemble fleets from multiple sectors. Ships were pulled from distant systems, soldiers called from colonies, and weapons prepared for battle. But humans had already predicted this. Alex's scouts monitored the incoming fleets, noting weaknesses, dispersal, and timing. Commander, Clara said, they are moving faster than expected. They may try to block our path to the central sectors. Alex nodded. Good, that will make our attack stronger. They are dividing themselves, thinking numbers alone will win. We will show them strategy, courage, and coordination are stronger than arrogance. The fleets approached one another in the black void. Missiles and energy pulses lit space, but humans moved with precision, avoiding unnecessary damage while disabling key systems. Every battle was a demonstration of skill, patience, and preparation. In the council chambers, Linnaeus' fury grew. Why can they anticipate every move? How can they be so perfect? Vethar shook their head. Sir, humans are not like other species. They learn, adapt, and think differently. They are patient, they are precise, they are relentless. Linnaeus' tentacles twitched with anger. No, this cannot continue. We must destroy them. Every system, every fleet, every resource we have, use it. Stop them before they reach the central sectors. But humans were already there. Alex had studied the Council's systems, weaknesses, and strategies. Every move the Council made played into the human plan. Every fleet sent to intercept was drawn into traps or neutralized with precision strikes. Captain Rivers looked at the display. Commander, their reinforcements are coming from 3 directions. If we split, we can surround them and take control. Alex nodded. Exactly. Divide, confuse, and conquer. They will not understand until it is too late. Humans strike when the time is right. They do not rush. They do not panic. That is the advantage of preparation. The human fleet moved like shadows through the Council forces, striking with calculated precision. Missiles disabled engines, energy pulses shut down weapons, and fleets that had once believed themselves powerful were now trapped, unable to escape. Across the galaxy, whispers grew into fear. Humans were back. Humans were strong. Humans could not be defeated by arrogance or size alone. On the observation deck, Alex looked out at the chaos below. This is only the beginning, he said quietly. The Council will try to fight, but humans will not fail. We will take our place among the stars, and those who thought us gone will remember us forever. Clara stood beside him. They will learn the hard way. Humanity never forgets. Humanity never surrenders. Morgan Rivers added, and they will learn that even 4,000 years of silence cannot stop us. We are back, and we are stronger than they could ever imagine. The human fleet pressed forward, moving deeper into Council space. Every victory was a lesson, every captured ship a warning. The Council had thought humans weak, gone, and silent. Now they faced a species that had grown in patience, strategy, and strength. Admiral Linnaeus watched from his command seat, his tentacles writhing in fury. "We will destroy them," he said. "We will not allow humans to take what is ours." But humans were already beyond his grasp. Alex's fleet had proven that courage, preparation, and strategy could overcome size, arrogance, and power. And as the fleet moved closer to the central sectors, the Council began to understand a terrifying truth. 4,000 years of silence had not made humans weak. It had made them unstoppable. The storm of humanity's return continued, spreading fear, strategy, and unstoppable determination across the galaxy. And at the center of it all, Alex Harper and his officers knew that the final confrontation was approaching. The Council would fight, yes, but humans had learned patience, precision, and strength. The galaxy would remember humanity not as a weak species, but as a force that could not be ignored. The return of humans was no longer a legend. It was history in motion. And history would remember it as the moment the galaxy learned that underestimating humanity was the greatest mistake it had ever made. The Council's core systems were closer now, glowing faintly against the blackness of space. Humans had cut a path through the outer defenses, leaving the Council fleet in chaos and confusion. Every star system they passed whispered of their return, and every Council officer realized too late that humanity was no longer a species to be ignored. Commander Alex Harper stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking out at the distant stars. "We are close," he said quietly. "The central systems are within reach. The Council knows we are coming. They will prepare, but we are ready." Lieutenant Clara Monroe adjusted the sensors, scanning for incoming Council fleets. "They are gathering forces from all directions. This will be their largest attack yet, but they are divided. That is our advantage." Captain Morgan Rivers studied the holographic displays. "Commander, the Council's reinforcements are arriving faster than we expected. If they combine their fleets, it could be dangerous." Alex nodded. "Danger is part of war. Humans have faced danger before. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. We adapt, we fight, and we win." The fleet moved like a single organism, every ship in perfect formation. Each soldier, engineer, and pilot knew their role. Humans had grown in isolation for 4,000 years, learning patience, precision, and strategy. Now every lesson learned would be tested against the might of the Council's full power. Across the void, the Council's fleets began to converge. Ships from distant sectors moved toward the central systems, heavy weapons primed, shields glowing, soldiers ready for battle. Admiral Linnaeus watched from the command chambers, his multiple tentacles twitching with fury. "They are strong," Linnaeus said, voice low and dangerous. "But numbers can overwhelm even the best strategy. We will crush them here." Vethar, his aide, hesitated. "Sir, humans have already proven they are not weak. Every fleet we send has been defeated or captured. We may underestimate them at great risk." Linnaeus' eyes glowed with anger. "Do not question me. They will be destroyed. Send all fleets, all weapons, everything. No mercy." No hesitation. The Council ships surged forward like a tidal wave. Their numbers were massive, but humans had learned that force alone could be countered with strategy and patience. Alex studied their approach carefully, calculating the best moves to divide, confuse, and conquer. "Split into two groups," he ordered. "Group 1 will lure their main fleet toward the Arden Expanse. Group 2 will attack the peripheral systems and cut off reinforcements. Timing is everything. Do not rush. Wait for the moment we strike together." Captain Rivers nodded. "Understood, Commander. Humans do not fight recklessly. We fight to win." Clara studied the fleet's sensors. "They are taking the bait. The main fleet is moving toward our traps. But some ships are trying to flank us. Should we counter immediately? Alex shook his head. No, let them commit. Patience is our weapon. They will make mistakes. Humans do not waste energy on unnecessary risks. We strike when their mistakes are clear. The first clash began in the Arden Expanse. Council ships moved into the trap, expecting an easy victory. But human ships, hidden among asteroid fields and using stealth technology, struck with deadly precision. Weapons disabled engines, shields failed, and Council soldiers panicked. Captain Rivers coordinated the attack. Strike the engines, disable the weapons, hold your formation. Within minutes, the first wave of Council ships was neutralized. Some were captured, others left adrift, unable to move or communicate. Across the galaxy, whispers of the humans' skill and precision grew louder. Humans were no longer a forgotten species. They were a storm rising across the stars. Meanwhile, in the Council's central command chambers, Linnaeus roared in frustration. Impossible! They cannot strike so perfectly every time. How can they anticipate our movements? Vethar's multiple eyes blinked nervously. Sir, perhaps it is not just anticipation. Perhaps they have learned from observation. 4,000 years of silence, they have been preparing. Linnaeus' anger twisted into fear. Preparation does not make them unbeatable. Gather every fleet. We must crush them before they reach the central systems. Alex watched the Council's efforts carefully. Every fleet they sent to intercept was already under observation. Every move was analyzed and countered. Humans had learned not only to fight but to predict, to anticipate, and to act decisively. Prepare for the second wave, Alex said. They will regroup, but we are stronger than they realize. Humanity has waited 4,000 years for this. Every moment they delay is a moment we use to strengthen our advantage. Clara monitored the sensors. Commander, their flanking ships are moving closer. They may try to trap us. Alex studied the displays. Let them come. We will divide them and they will fall into our control. Humans do not fear numbers. We fear failure, and failure is not an option. The Council ships moved like a tidal wave, but humans had set traps at every step. Energy nets disabled engines, precision strikes cut off communication, and stealth ships disabled weapons before the Council even realized they were under attack. Captain Rivers' group moved into the peripheral systems, taking control of key outposts and cutting off reinforcements. Each station captured was a blow to the Council's morale. Each move sent a message. Humans were back and they were unstoppable. Across the galaxy, Council officers whispered in disbelief. They are too organized, too precise. How can humans strike like this? Jorel, a young officer, shook his head. We thought they were gone, but 4,000 years of silence made them strong. We underestimated them. The battle continued for hours. Council fleets fought with every weapon, every strategy, every skill they possessed. But humans had learned patience, adaptation, and strategy. Every Council move was countered, every fleet neutralized. In the midst of battle, Alex addressed his officers. Remember, every ship we take, every station we control is proof of our return. We fight not just to survive, but to remind the galaxy who we are. Humans are patient, humans are precise, and humans never give up. Clara smiled faintly. They will never forget this. They thought we were gone, but we are back, and we are stronger than they could imagine. Captain Rivers added, let them throw everything at us. We will adapt, we will strike, and we will win. The human fleet moved deeper into the central systems, facing larger Council fleets, stronger weapons, and more desperate attacks. But every engagement ended the same way. Humans adapted, fought with precision, and emerged victorious. Admiral Linnaeus watched from his command chambers, fear finally breaking through his anger. How can they be this perfect? Vethar hesitated. Sir, humans have waited, they have observed, they have learned. We underestimated them, and now we cannot stop them. Linnaeus' eyes burned with fury. We must stop them. Even if it costs every system we control, we will not allow humans to reach the central sectors. But humans were already there. Alex's fleet moved like shadows through the chaos, striking where the Council least expected. Missiles disabled weapons, engines were neutralized, and Council soldiers panicked at every turn. Humans had proven that courage, patience, and preparation were stronger than numbers or arrogance. On the observation deck, Alex looked at the stars, imagining the battles to come. They assumed silence meant weakness, he said quietly, but silence was our strength. They will learn that humans do not give up, we do not surrender, and we do not forget. Clara stood beside him. They will face the full force of humanity, and they will remember it forever. Morgan Rivers added, 4,000 years of waiting, 4,000 years of preparation, and now the galaxy sees what we are. We are not weak. We are not gone. We are unstoppable. The human fleet pressed forward, moving into the central sectors. Every victory was a statement, every captured ship a warning. The Council had assumed humans were weak and silent. Now, they faced a species that had grown in strength, strategy, and resolve. The storm of humanity's return continued, spreading fear, skill, and unstoppable determination. And at the center of it all, Alex Harper knew the final confrontation with the Council was close. The humans had proven patience, precision, and courage. Now they would show the galaxy that they had waited 4,000 years to reclaim their place among the stars. The Council could send fleets, weapons, and soldiers. They could try to overwhelm with numbers. But humans had learned to strike, adapt, and survive. And when the final battle came, the galaxy would see that 4,000 years of silence had not made humans weak, it had made them unstoppable. The return of humanity was no longer a legend, it was history in motion. And history was about to be written with courage, strength, and the will of a species that refused to be forgotten. The central sectors of the galaxy glowed faintly, filled with council stations, communication hubs, and the core fleets. For 4,000 years, humans had been absent, and the Council believed their silence meant weakness, their disappearance meant the end. Now, the humans had returned, and every Council officer knew that the moment of reckoning had come. Commander Alex Harper stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking at the glittering fleets ahead. "This is it," he said quietly. "The Council's heart is before us. Every fleet, every station, every officer, everything they have is here, but we are ready. Humans are ready." Lieutenant Clara Monroe adjusted the sensors, scanning the fleets. "Commander, they have amassed their entire force. Thousands of ships armed with their best weapons. They expect an easy victory, but they do not know us." Captain Morgan Rivers leaned over the display. "They will learn quickly. Humans do not fight like other species. We think, we adapt, we strike, and we never give up." Alex nodded. "Exactly. Today, the galaxy will see why 4,000 years of silence made us stronger, not weaker." The human fleet moved forward in perfect formation. Every ship, every soldier, every officer understood the importance of this moment. Humans had waited for centuries for this day, training, observing, and preparing. Now they would show the galaxy that patience, strategy, and courage were weapons stronger than size or arrogance. Across the void, the Council fleet waited, confident in its numbers. Ships bristled with weapons, shields flared, and soldiers prepared for battle. Admiral Linnaeus sat in the command chambers, his tentacles twitching with tension. "They have reached the central sectors," Linnaeus growled. "Destroy them. Every ship, every station, every resource. No mercy. Do not let humans reach the Council itself." Vethar, his aide, hesitated. "Sir, they have proven time and again that force alone may not stop them. They are precise, patient, strategic. We may not survive this." Linnaeus' eyes glowed with rage. "Do not speak of survival. We are the Council. We will crush them. Send every weapon, every fleet, everything. Humanity will not claim what belongs to us." Alex watched the Council's movements carefully. Every fleet sent to intercept humans was already anticipated. Every trap they set was designed to fail. Humans had studied the Council for centuries. They knew how the Council thought, how it moved, and where it was weakest. "Split into 3 groups," Alex ordered. "Group 1 will engage the outer fleets, drawing them forward. Group 2 will move to cut off reinforcements. Group 3 will target the Council's main stations and communication hubs. Timing and coordination are everything. Wait for the moment, then strike with everything we have." Captain Rivers nodded. "Understood. Humans do not act recklessly. We act with purpose. And we strike to win." Clara monitored the sensors. "Commander, they are taking the bait. The outer fleets are moving forward. Their ships are responding to our maneuvers exactly as we predicted." Alex smiled faintly. "Good. Let them move. Let them commit to their mistakes. Humanity does not rush. We do not panic. We strike when the time is right." The first wave of battle erupted. Council ships engaged the human fleet, firing weapons, launching missiles, and activating shields. But humans moved with precision. Missiles were intercepted, shields disabled, and engines cut off before the Council even realized what had happened. Captain Rivers' group advanced through the chaos, targeting weak points in the Council's formations. "Focus on engines and weapons first," he shouted. "Disable them before they can respond." In minutes, entire fleets of Council ships were neutralized. Some were captured, others left adrift, powerless to fight. Across the galaxy, fear spread among Council officers. Humanity was not only back, they were unstoppable. Admiral Linnaeus watched in disbelief. "Impossible! How can they strike so perfectly every time? We are strong, we are countless, yet they defeat us again and again." Vethar's multiple eyes blinked nervously. "Sir, humans have waited. They have prepared. We underestimated them." Linnaeus' face twisted with anger. "We will not fail. Send everything. Destroy them before they reach the Council stations." But humans had anticipated this. Alex's fleet moved with careful coordination. Traps were set in every sector, ambushes in asteroid fields, stealth ships striking from shadows, and precision strikes hitting every weak point in Council fleets. Each move was calculated, each attack deliberate. "Prepare for the final strike," Alex said. "Group 1 engage the outer fleets. Group 2 block reinforcements. Group 3 move to the Council's core stations. Strike together. The Council will not survive this." The human fleet moved as one. Group 1 engaged outer Council fleets, drawing them forward. Missiles and pulse weapons struck with deadly accuracy, disabling ships and forcing retreats. Group 2 intercepted reinforcements, cutting them off before they could reach the center. Group 3 moved swiftly toward the Council's command stations, invisible until the moment of attack. On board the main human flagship, Alex addressed his officers. "Remember, we fight not just to survive. We fight to show the galaxy who we are. We are humans. We are patient. We are precise, and we never surrender. Every move we make will remind the Council that underestimating us was their greatest mistake." Clara smiled. "They will learn it the hard way. Humans have waited 4,000 years, and now we are here." Captain Rivers added, "Every victory, every captured ship, every disabled station is proof. Humanity is back, and we are stronger than they could ever imagine." The fleets collided near the Council's central systems. Energy pulses lit space, missiles streaked across the void, and explosions shook the blackness. But humans moved with coordination, striking where the Council was weakest, avoiding unnecessary damage and capturing every advantage. One by one, Council fleets were neutralized. Ships that had once been symbols of power were left powerless, engines disabled, weapons silenced. Stations that had controlled entire sectors were now under human control. Admiral Linnaeus watched helplessly from the command chambers. His fleets were failing, his soldiers panicked, and the humans were advancing steadily toward the Council's core stations. "Impossible," he whispered. They cannot be this strong. We cannot stop them." Vethar shook their head. Sir, humans are not just strong. They are patient, they are precise, they have waited, and they have learned from every weakness we ever had. Linnaeus' rage boiled over. Send everything. Do not stop, destroy them. But it was too late. The human fleet moved into the Council's core. Every station, every weapon, every command hub was under threat. Humans struck together, disabling communication arrays, cutting off reinforcements, and securing control of the Council's central systems. Alex stood on the observation deck, looking down at the Council's core stations. "This is the moment," he said quietly. 4,000 years of silence ended here. Today, humanity reclaims its place. Today, the galaxy learns that humans are patient, humans are precise, and humans never surrender. Clara nodded. They will remember us. Every failure, every mistake, every underestimation, they will never forget. Captain Rivers added, "We do not fight to destroy. We fight to show that humanity survived, that humanity grew stronger, and now they will see it clearly." The Council's final fleets tried to resist, but humans were unstoppable. Precision strikes disabled weapons, engines failed, and communication networks collapsed. Ships were captured, stations secured, and soldiers surrendered. Every move the Council made played into human strategy, and every failure reminded them that arrogance had been their greatest enemy. Admiral Linnaeus stared at the reports, pale with rage and fear. They are impossible. How can a species thought extinct be this strong?" Vethar placed a hand on his arm. "Sir, humans never gave up. They never surrendered. They prepared while we grew arrogant, and now they are unstoppable." Alex watched the Council's command stations fall, one by one. Humans had not rushed. They had been patient. They had struck with precision. And now the Council's heart lay exposed, powerless against the species they had underestimated for millennia. "Prepare the final assault," Alex ordered. "We strike at the Council itself. Humanity will not beg for recognition. We will claim it." The human fleet moved together, unstoppable and coordinated. Council defenses collapsed and their fleets surrendered or were neutralized. Energy pulses flared, shields failed, and the Council's command stations fell silent. At the center, Alex's flagship hovered over the Council's main chamber. Communication channels opened. His voice, calm and strong, echoed across the Council. "This is humanity," he said. 4,000 years of silence ended today. You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak. You were wrong. Humans are patient, humans are precise, and humans never surrender. You will remember this day. Not as a defeat, but as proof that humanity survived, grew, and returned stronger than ever. The galaxy will know that underestimating humans is the greatest mistake a species can make. The Council members, powerless and surrounded, could only listen. Their arrogance had blinded them for millennia, and now the full force of humanity's return lay before them. Clara smiled. "They will never forget." Captain Rivers nodded. 4,000 years of waiting, and now humanity reclaims its place among the stars. Alex looked out at the galaxy, proud and calm. "We are humans. We have waited. We have learned. And now the galaxy will remember our name." The return of humanity was complete. The Council was defeated, not by numbers or weapons alone, but by patience, precision, and the unyielding spirit of a species that refused to be forgotten. 4,000 years of silence had ended. Humanity was back, and the galaxy would never forget it.